2016. Did you know that Dominica is also a signatory to the Copenhagen Declaration on addressing transnational organized crime in the global fishing industry? The Soufriere Scotshead Marine Reserve was formally established under statutory rules and Order Number 18 of 1998 in accordance with the Fisheries Act Number 11 of 1987. Did you know that Dominica currently has approximately 11 hectares utilized for aquaculture production? Did you know that the key species cultivated include tilapia and giant freshwater prawns? Did you know that Dominica has expanded the farming of Eucuma cotoni sea moss species to assist with the commercialization of the sea moss industry? I will focus today on Did You Know? World Fisheries Day being observed today.
Everyone listens to the nation station, DBS Radio.
Up next, we'll bring you the DBS Major Morning News.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: a representative of the World Bank has commended government's efforts in implementing the Housing Recovery Project. In news from the region, the Dominican Republic Court strikes down a gay sex ban in police and armed forces, and at least 41 people are dead as relentless rains flood Vietnam. Good morning, I'm Gavin Richards, the DBS Major Morning News. The details right after this.
Need one trusted place to stock up for your home, shop, or business? Fine Foods Inc. Distribution has got you covered. From dry goods and frozen foods to your favorite drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, plus all the household must-have. We've got it all under one roof. We're right here in Jimmy, Dominica. And yes, we deliver fast. Whether you're running a supermarket, a corner shop, a bar, or just like your pantry full and happy, Fine Foods Inc. brings you the best brands you know and love. Great prices, top-tier service, trusted products. Call us at 255-6810 or 316-0164 or drop by our Jimmy location to check out what's in store. Fine Foods Inc.
Fine Foods Inc. The biggest distributor for the biggest brand.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news this morning, a representative of the World Bank has commended government's efforts in implementing the Housing Recovery Project. Gail Richardson, the operations manager for the Caribbean Development Bank in Jamaica, says the homes represent a big achievement for Dominica. 69 more families received keys for new homes under the project at Windsor Park yesterday.
I'm proud to highlight that nearly 100 families secured registered land tenure through the project. all homes have received approved planning permission. All beneficiaries now reside in structures of the highest engineering and structural standards made possible through the effective collaboration between the World Bank and the government of Dominica. Since the project began, Dominica's housing sector has transformed dramatically, demonstrating resilience, innovation, and capacity, delivering homes far beyond those financed by this initiative. Yet this progress was even more impressive if you view it against the major global and local challenges of recent years. We had the COVID-19 pandemic, we had worldwide shortages and price escalations, we had successive tropical storms. Yet, despite these obstacles, Dominica has constructed over 300 homes under the Housing Recovery Project, an achievement that reflects the strength and determination of the country and its people. On behalf of the World Bank, I congratulate the Prime Minister, his cabinet, and all the teams involved in their steadfast leadership throughout the journey.
And that's World Bank representative Gail Richardson. Meantime, Housing Minister Melissa Poppons-Kerrett says government's housing expansion program will provide housing to many more Dominicans.
The need for a better life must stay at the center of our work. So I say to those who are not receiving homes today, don't be dismayed. Those who have not yet gotten, because blessings move in seasons. So today it's theirs and tomorrow it's yours. Because as we speak, we have 8 other housing sites currently under construction. Following the devastation caused by Hurricane Maria, we refuse to allow our people to experience such destruction to their homes and lives again, including the painful separation we saw of families. That is why we stayed steadfast in fighting poverty through better housing. We stand firmly against displacement due to climate change and will not accept the destruction of our homes in the future. That is why we are prepared now. That's why this nation will remain resilient in the face of future hurricanes. Because every home we build now is concrete roof. The hurricanes can come, they can huff and puff, but they will not blow your house down. It is the testimonials that we hear. It is the transformations of people's lives that keep us pressing on. And you've heard it even earlier this week. We heard the testimonies, and today, it is the elderly woman who tells us that her new home has added new life and new years to her life because she can finally live in comfort and dignity.
And that was Housing Minister Melissa Kerrett. The Housing Minister said that the Housing Recovery Program was special as Dominicans were empowered during the construction of the homes.
The Housing Recovery Project is the first homeowner-driven housing initiative in the entire Caribbean. This means that the beneficiaries were fully involved in the process. They were hiring their own contractors, paying the contractors, in some cases purchasing their own materials. They were showing up on site, learning a thing or two, even learning to build a house, being part of the process. It was a community energy at its best. All contractors were strictly local, ensuring that every single dollar stayed right here and circulated within the communities. But let's be honest, it was not without a challenge. We battled the rising global costs. In fact, we changed our cap many times from 50,000 up to 170,000 at the end because there were material shortages, there were increased prices, and the realities of rebuilding in a rugged, mountainous island. The terrain is difficult, but still we pressed on. And many of you here know the real story. Some of you here would have been disqualified, not because you didn't need a home, or not because you didn't qualify in other areas, but simply because you did not have a land title. And this is where your government stepped in. We paid for those titles. We regularized these properties. We facilitated about 170 families.
Minister for Housing Melissa Skerritt, in all over 382 homes were constructed under the World Bank government, or that should be under the World Bank Government of Dominica Housing Recovery Project. Meantime, Acting Prime Minister and Minister for Culture and Community Development, Greta Roberts, defended government's decision to provide houses to the Dominican people.
I know sometimes people ask, why is government investing so much in free housing for the people of Dominica? The answer is simple. We live in one of the most disaster-prone regions on earth. Climate change has made hurricanes more intense, more unpredictable, and more destructive. The storms of today are not the storms 20 years ago, and it is the poorest and most vulnerable who suffer the most when disasters strike. This government, led by Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, has taken the firm decision that no Dominican family should be left to face the next hurricane with the same fragility that existed before 2017. When we say resilient housing, we mean houses which can weather the storms that we know will come. Homes that protect life. Homes that reduce the need for emergency shelters. Homes that save families from the trauma of starting all over again. Building resilient homes is a necessity for survival, an investment in our people, our economy, and our future.
And that was Acting Prime Minister and Minister for Culture and Community Development, Greta Roberts. In some more news this morning, former member of the Dominica clergy, Father Reginald Lafleur, has encouraged self-employed individuals to register with the Dominica Social Security. Father Lafleur told the Dominica Social Security program on DBS radio this week that he has benefited from the Dominica Social Security.
I registered as a self-employed person, and at the beginning, not many people were very much into the self-employed agenda. But the staff at the Dominica Social Security, people like Mr. Etienne, who is there, Mrs. Jean-Jacques, Mrs. Joanna, John Bertrand, and Anna Ambo, these are no longer with Social Security, but these were the ones who basically encouraged me because I was self-employed, and they were always at me and telling me at every occasion, every year, try to increase the payments that you make so that at the end of it, you'll have a greater benefit. And they worked with me all along. Even when I was on study leave, they also encouraged me and ensured that I paid my contributions regularly. And for that, I got 3 awards from Social Security for always paying on time and being consistent and so forth. So it has really, really benefited me. I'm also one who also benefited from sick. I had eye surgery on 2 occasions, and on both occasions, Social Security paid my salary whilst I was on sick leave. So I am really grateful to the Dominica Social Security, and I would like to encourage all those who are out there who may be self-employed or otherwise employed elsewhere to continue to make their contribution to Social Security.
And that was Father Reginald Lafleur. And the Youth Development Division will recognize over 100 young people during a certificate award ceremony at 2:30 this afternoon. The ceremony recognizes the young people for their participation in an 8-week short course program this year.
And these courses covered a range of areas including sewing, small electronic repair, digital device maintenance, Canva and Photoshop design, financial literacy, videography, and public speaking. The ceremony is really an opportunity to celebrate the hard work of these people and their dedication and their growth. We want the public to know that the Youth Development Division remains committed to expanding opportunities for young people across Dominica. So, for example, the programs that our graduates will receive certificates for were delivered both face-to-face and in one instance virtually. And we continue to use every mode, whether in person or online, to reach our young people wherever they are. And we also ensure the decentralization by offering these trainings in several different communities across our 8 districts, so that access to opportunity is not limited by location.
And that's the Chief Youth Development Officer, Merita Hyacinth. The certificate award ceremony is set for 2:30 this afternoon at the Goodwill Parish Hall. Well, let's head into news from the region this morning. The Constitutional Court of the Dominican Republic has issued a landmark ruling ending a ban that had criminalized same-sex conduct within the country's police department and its armed forces. Well, human rights activists praised the ruling yesterday, saying it was long overdue. Manuel Mecarriero, director of the Human Rights Observatory for Vulnerable Groups, said that no one should be discriminated against. However, he said that the ruling does not mean that police officers or soldiers would be allowed to engage in romantic relationships at work, and that they must comply with labor regulations like all other members. And on the international scene, relentless rains and floods have killed at least 41 people in central Vietnam, while a search continues for 9 still missing. The rain has submerged more than 52,000 homes and left 500,000 households and businesses without power, according to reports. Rainfall exceeded 1.5 meters or 5 feet in several areas over the past 3 days, even rising beyond the 1993 flood peak of 5.2 meters in some parts. Well, that's the news. Let's recap the headlines. A representative of the World Bank has commended government's efforts in implementing the Housing Recovery Project. The Dominican Republic Court strikes down a gay sex ban in police and armed forces, and at least 41 people are dead as relentless rains flood Vietnam. That's the news. Stay tuned for sports.
Ever wondered what's in your milk? These are the following benefits of Distinction Milk. It's a great source of calcium and protein, vitamin A and D added. It's definitely not a filled milk like some of the other brands. Distinction Milk texture and taste is great for shakes, baking, pouring cream, and is side for mashed potatoes and much more. Even better, because of its rich texture, Distinction Evaporated Milk can be stretched. Isn't it great to know what's in your milk? Distinction Milk, distributed by Fine Foods Inc.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Well, welcome to the morning sports report. Let's bowl off with cricket news. The West Indies cricketer Kavem Hodge says he is grateful for the opportunity to once again represent the West Indies team. Well, Hodge, after being dropped earlier this year, was recalled by Cricket West Indies for the upcoming Test series with New Zealand. Hodge says that he put in a lot of work after being dropped and he's hoping to do his best if given the opportunity to play.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank the Lord for giving me another opportunity to represent the West Indies, because, a lot of the times we think, it's man that does things, but, the Lord has his own plans and, overall he's in charge of everything. So I just want to thank him for that. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to represent the West Indies again. I was, happy. I was grateful when I got the recall. So, that's something that I'm looking forward to.
And of course, Kavem unceremoniously dropped, a lot of people would say. How did you use that downtime, to work on your game, work on the areas that, the coaching staff might have felt that you were short on to get back into the team?
Yeah, with every other business, you're given the opportunity to perform a task. And if you can't do that effectively and efficiently, then you have to reevaluate yourself and what is it that you're bringing to the table. So I really had to use that downtime to work on areas where I felt that I faltered. Just work on myself as a person, picked up a few hobbies, spent some more time with the Lord, really being intentional with that. But I also must make mention to the individuals who have helped me along that time period, guys like Sam Kernon, who's worked really, really tediously with me. Benno Pascal, who's used his own resources, his nets and stuff like that to facilitate me. Even Gian Benjamin, taking his time off after work to throw balls at me in the stadium. So I'm really grateful for these guys. I just want to make mention of that.
And now that you're back into the team, Kavem, nobody wants to get dropped again. So obviously runs will be the keys to remaining on the squad. So what's your mindset as you head into this competition against New Zealand?
And now that I'm back in the squad, my main goal is to perform whatever task is given unto me the best that I can, control the controllables, and just pray that God gives me the grace and the strength to see it through, and that His will be done. So.
And that's the West Indies cricketer Kavem Hodge. Meantime, there's also been a recall for Kemar Roach, while Alzari Joseph and Shama Joseph will miss out on the tour due to injury. Jamaican fast bowler O.J. Shields has also earned a maiden call-up. West Indies head coach Darren Sammy says despite Kemar Roach's age, his experience and the injuries to Shama and Alzari Joseph have justified his call-up.
We're not in a position to move on from a player until the player is retired. The opportunities given to the others, with the lack of our experience in Joseph and the two Josephs, Kima now comes in with that experience.
And that's the West Indies head coach, Darren Sammy. Well, the West Indies test team for New Zealand reads Roston Chase as the captain, Jomel Warwick the vice-captain, Alec Athanaze, John Campbell, Tejnarain Chandapal, Justin Graves, Kavem Hodge, Shea Hope, Tevin Imlak, Brandon King, Johan Lane, Anderson Phillip, Kema Roach, Jaden Seals, and OJ Shields. Meantime, the West Indies will be looking to avoid a whitewash in their ODI series with New Zealand. Of course, the two sides will meet tonight for the third and final match, with the West Indies trailing 2-0 in the series. West Indies ODI captain Shea Hope says while the team has not managed to win any matches in the series so far, there are some encouraging signs.
Yeah, like we said, when you really look at it, we come to New Zealand. Most of the guys first time in these foreign conditions, and the way how we've been pushing the game all the way down to the back end, there've been 4 close games now. I think every one of them pretty much finished in the last over. So you come here, you put yourself in positions to win games, and it's only a matter of time before you cross the line. It's just unfortunate we're not doing so currently, but like I said, man, we got to find a way to cross that line because we want to be a great team. You got to keep winning against the best, and that's what we need to do going forward.
And that's the West Indies ODI captain, Shea Hope. Well, the third one-day international gets underway at 9 o'clock tonight. Well, still of cricket news, 19 wickets on the opening day. And it's the host Australia with the advantage at the end of day one of the Ashes test with England at Perth. Well, England won the toss and opted to bat first. They were bowled out for just 172. Harry Brook got 52 and Oli Pope 46. Mitchell Stark, well, he blazed through the England lineup. He took 7 for 58. The Australians, in their turn, they also struggled with the England pace attack, and they were 123 for 9 at stumps on day one. Ben Stokes, he picked up 5 for 23, Jofra Archer 2 for 11, and Bryden Carter 2 for 45. So the scores heading into day two, it's England 172, Australia 123 for 9. Australia trails by 49 runs. Let's move to some basketball news now, as the Paybush Eagles have leveled their best-of-5 match DABA Premier League finals with the BAA Sharks as they took Game 2 of that series last night at the Massac Indoor Facility. Well, the game was neck and neck before the Eagles pulled away in the fourth quarter to win the game 82-70. Shama Felicity had 21 points and Ethan Boland 19. Lennon Paul also had 18 points for the Eagles. Paybush Eagles player is Lennon Paul.
I love it. We came here and we executed exactly what we talked about. We had little mishaps, but we came back and we figured it out, and that's it. That's basketball.
All right, what can you take from this game as you continue to move on in the series?
Just stick to our plan, stick to our strength, and know what we have, and we'll be fine.
All right, key players for you tonight. Shama, for example, had a brilliant game again.
Shama was good. Kaelan was good. Boland showed up. You know, we only had Boland like probably 2 games in the regular season. He showed up tonight. I appreciate him for that. And he provided what we needed. He got a couple stops, the rebounds, a couple buckets in, and I love it.
All right, what will be the mentality, the mindset for Game 3 in the series now?
Oh, same thing. We done, we want it, we're hungry. Same mentality, we want it, and that's it.
And that's the Paybush Eagles player, Lennon Paul. Well, Christian Scotland had a game-high 28 points in a losing effort for the Sharks, while Jimal Peltier had 13. BA Sharks head coach Callian Scotland says his team made too many costly errors.
We didn't execute the way we wanted to tonight, so we lost the game tonight. And I think the calls kind of got the players a little too amped up, and they need to keep their composure. But be sure we'll be back for the next game.
You're missing some key guys tonight, so how much do you think I might have influenced the game as well?
Oh, yes. I forgot to mention. We like to make excuses, but we're missing 3 key players, so our rotation was very short tonight. So that's why we only short-handed tonight, and our players have to put some extra minutes and take up extra responsibilities that kind of slowed them down during the game.
Losing by 12 points, but how do you sort of boost the guys up for the remainder of the series?
Well, we have to be mentally tough, and we have to come back swinging in the next game because they made adjustments to us. So now we have to go back to the drawing board and make adjustments to their play so we can come back stronger for the next game.
And that's the BAA Sharks coach, Callian Scotland. The 5-match series is leveled at 1-1. Game 3 is scheduled for Saturday. Let's move to football. Head coach of the women's senior national football team, Ronnie Gustav, believes that Dominica has what it takes to give a good showing at the upcoming Women's World Cup qualifiers. Well, Dominica has been placed in Group B with Jamaica, Guyana, Nicaragua and Antigua. Dominica will play its first game against Jamaica at the Darren Sammy National Stadium in St. Lucia next week. Well, DBS Radio's Joseph Fadul caught up with the team at their last training session this week.
I have to say the girls have been applying themselves in the training, and we have been doing a lot of basic work. As we have known, we just came from the Windward Island tournament and we saw a lot of our flaws in the game. So that's what we have been basically working on, our movements of the ball, or control, or first touch, more the tactical aspect of our game.
Coach, you mentioned the Windward Island tournament. It wasn't too good of a showing. What were some of the lessons of that tournament?
Well, I have to say, the tournament was a tournament is to see some of the ladies that haven't played on that level. Also, as I have resonated in the past that people might hear it on several occasions. I think it's a young team, and it's for facts it's a young team. So there's a lot of work to be done with them. But we have seen from the tournament we went to the Windward Island that we were lacking a lot, especially our controls, our passing, our movements. That have a lot of play to do with we playing down here in our peers, that when we do play against our peers that we think our football is at a certain standard, but playing outside there with the other countries, you could see that we are missing a lot in our game. There's a lot for us to learn in the game, and our movements, our awareness of where on the pitch, so that's what we're working on.
And that's head coach of the women's senior national football team, Ronnie Gustav, speaking with Joseph Fadul. Well, let's stay with women's football, because Kiana Francis got the late winner to give Harlem United a 1-0 win over the Belfast Estate Mao Suka Strikettes as the DFA's Women's League continued last night. Well, the football action is going to continue tonight with the third place on the line in the DFA Premier President's Cup. The Roosevelt Skerrit Bombers will take on Sajiko Southeast tonight at 7 o'clock. That game will be played at the DFA Technical Center. We'll also have the grand finals on tomorrow with a Central Cooperative Credit Union Dubla FC looking to retain their championship when they come up against Valvoline Way United. In some more sports, we have the Windward Islands Volcanoes looking to make it 2 straight wins as the Cricket West Indies Regional Super 50 Overs tournament continues today. The Windwards, in their last match, they chased down the highest total in the history of the Super 50 Overs tournament to beat the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. Well, the Leewards, that should be the Windwards Volcanoes, they will be hoping to make it 2 straight when they take on Guyana this morning. That game gets underway from 9 o'clock. Also at 9 o'clock this morning, we'll have Barbados playing the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. And at 2 o'clock this afternoon is Jamaica coming up against Trinidad and Tobago. We also have the West Indies under-19 team who will be looking to make it 3 straight wins over England when they meet in the 3rd Youth ODI this morning in Grenada. That game gets underway from 9 o'clock this morning. There's also action in the Sports Division Secondary Schools football program this afternoon. The Dominica Grammar School will take on the Dominica State College A team in the under-20 division at the Newtown Savannah, while at the Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth is the Portsmouth Secondary School playing host to the Castlebrook Secondary School in the under-17 division. And also quickly, we can tell you that White City, they scored an impressive win over non-players as the Julius Timothy Independence Domino League continued last night. White City won that game 3,025 to non-players who got 2,027. So quite a comprehensive win there for White City. That will bring us to the end of the DBS Morning Sports Report. Of course, more sporting highlights throughout the course of the day. Thanks for listening, everyone, on behalf of the entire News and Sports Department and, of course, our links person, Azari Williams. I'm Gavin Richards saying good morning.
Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert.